RPGs are an amazing genre, and since their inception they've been doing whatever they can to show that the power of character progression equals addicting gameplay. I mean, it seems these days that most chart-topping games are RPGs at heart, or just incorporate a ton of RPG elements. We got the Fallout series, where you level up your aim so you don't RNG miss your shotgun blast from 2 centimeters away. We got Nier Automata, where leveling up unlocks upgrades to keep you alive in a combat system so tight, it'll blow your pants off, back on, and then back off again if you catch my drift. And of course we got The Last of Us, where Joel starts as a mad, sad dad lad dealing with the loss of his daughter, and slowly grows and evolves until he could defeat the Xeno'jiva late game. That was a roller coaster of emotions if I do say so myself. The point is that RPGs are evolving faster than Hikam Elguero's Mile Time, and character development is at an all-time high. Or low if we're gonna stick to this analogy. Progression these days is no longer about bigger numbers on your strikes or unlocking a weapon that gives you +3 power on abilities but -4 protein intake. No, these days progression comes with actual change. There's new playstyles, cooler combos, areas to unlock, sexier outfits, and more sexy outfits. Am I right, gang? Yeah. But it wasn't always like that. There was a time where our resources were limited and we weren't able to make every single fight 3860 by 2140 at 120 FPS on a fucking iPhone. Developers used to deal with a ton of limitations because this bad boy can only fit so much fucking memory in it. And so creators like Yuki Horii, Hironobu Sakaguchi, and Shigesato Itoi sat in a room and thought, how the fucketh are we going to make a game that continuously evolves and has a deep level of character progression when we only have 1 megabyte of memory to our goddamn name? And lucky for us, Yuki Horii found the answer back in 1983. Horii, alongside 2 homies Koichi Nakamura and Yukinobu Chida, won a game programming contest held by Enix, in which the winners get flown to the US and get to experience Applefest 83. Horii then discovered Wizardry and Ultima, 2 games that would serve as the basic building mechanics for RPGs as we see them today. Ultima for its awesome overworld maps, and Wizardry for its stat and menu-based combat. Smash these 2 bad boys together, a team of ragtag game developers doing their best to make the first fantasy RPG that does well, and Akira Toriyama, the creator and fucking artist of Dragon Ball, into one team, and what do you get? You get some fucking good shit. Dragon's Quest gave the world something it didn't know it needed. In a time where games were defined by popping puzzles and solving bubbles, high scores, and being David, Bowie, Dragon's Quest serves as one of the first ever console platforms for storytelling. Before this, the limits of console storytelling was, oh no, Mario, I've been kidnapped and taken to an evil castle. Or oh no, Link, I've been kidnapped and taken to an evil castle. Or even, oh no, Bubby and Bobby, help, we've been kidnapped and taken to an evil castle. Bubble Bobble. Even fucking Bubble Bobble was about saving their girlfriends. Back when princesses were kidnapped so often that your phone would die to the sheer amount of Amber Alerts you'd have to bear witness to, Dragon's Quest story was actually deep. And though technically Gwaelin was kidnapped and also crucial to the story, that's not the point of the video, let's move on. Dragon's Quest, or Dragon Warrior if you're talking about the North American release, did whatever it can to focus on story rather than gameplay. Whereas other games were a testament to just how fast your reactions were, or how precise you could time your jumps, Dragon's Quest let gameplay take a backseat and focused on absorbing your life. Toriyama even admitted to playing Dragon Quest so much that he wasn't getting any work done on Dragon Ball and his wife had to confiscate the game. This gameplay second, story first meta went on to shape the power of narratives in gaming for years to come. From Mother to Final Fantasy, turn-based combat would always coincide with a rich story at the expense of action in the traditional sense. Instead, people were met with something that could only be defined as Super EX Chess, Ultra Deluxe Edition, Final Mix Plus, Director's Cut, the movie, the game. You were no longer flexing your ninja reflexes and gigantic biceps. In turn-based combat, you were flexing your brain. Gotta get them brain kegels going. Decision-making was all there was. Time was no longer of the essence, and that allowed gameplay to get a lot more deep. There were enemy types, classes, buffs, debuffs, statuses, and the list goes on. These lights is hot, boy. It just blows my mind that this came out at the same time as this. And this came out at the same time as this. And like every genre, this format went through stages of evolution, with multiple developers trying to make it their own. We have Pokemon, where you walk around and capture shit and then fight other shit so your shit could become tougher so you could walk around and fight and capture tougher shit. We have my personal favorite game of all time, Mario RPG, where even when it's the enemy's turn, you could time your defense and take minimal damage, or time your attacks on your special moves and beat the hell out of those shy guys. And if you don't think that's crazy enough, just give me a fucking second and let me talk, Susan. In 1994, consoles received their first ever tactics turn-based RPG, a little game by the name of Fire Emblem and Koko Ryu to Hikari no Tsurugi. Holy shit, how much syllables y'all need? Which is basically the craziness of this, except now you're controlling a bunch of people at once and everyone can move now and you're fighting a bunch of different enemy types and I love you, goodbye. The turn-based genre is still thriving, and games will continue to improve and impress in ways that make things innovative. Whether we're talking about the groovy corridors in Persona, the oddly realistic landscapes in Octopath Traveler, or even the most recent rendition of Mushroom Kingdom in a Mario RPG game, this is a system that has proven true time and time again. I'm not saying turn-based RPGs are perfect. Grinding is almost always a huge portion of the game, and the occasional stat-related miss has broken many a controller. But turn-based RPGs are a great place to sink time to without dealing with the frustration of timing your dive rolls or aiming at someone's stupid head. Turn-based combat helped define RPGs as we know them today, and who knows where we'd be in storytelling without them. I'm a huge fan, and you should be too. I think that's the end of my turn, so now you go. Thank you for watching this week's episode of Can We Talk About This? If there's something else you want to talk about, leave it in the comment section below, and I'll be sure to get to it. Also, quick announcement. If you guys haven't heard, me and Matt are working on a music video for a pretty awesome rap song, so I'm going to link it here right now if it's up, which it probably won't be, but if you're seeing this later in the future, it will be, and if it's not up right now, I don't know. Maybe it's a video with me and a black guy. Anyways, I'll see you guys next week.